Hey everyone.
I'm Jane.
I'm Kitten.
As you know, my name is Pat. It's that time again. It's time for another episode of the Kinky Christian Podcast. Hey everybody, it is time again. Why are you giving me that look?
Well, look, I'm just looking at you.
Okay. It's time for the next episode of the Kinky Christian Podcast. I'm Pat, and with me, as always, is...
Hi, I'm Kitten.
That's a weird name. Hi, I'm Kitten.
You gave it to me.
I did. Okay. So we are now, and I think this is part 3 of the Genesis of Sex, we're calling it, where we are taking you on a trip through the Bible. And we are discussing what God has to say about sex and relationships and how we are to live our lives as husband and wife sexually, and not just husband and wives, but just everything. Everything I could find that I thought was pertinent to sex, whether you're in a marriage or relationship or not, or
The dogs are out front.
relationships, are they? Mm-hmm. Well, so we'll get them then.
I hope so.
So, we are going to continue where we left off last time in this, and we're still in Genesis. Genesis had a lot, actually.
I'm not surprised.
So, I thought some of the other books would have more, just because, like, you get into the giving of the law, that's going to be a long one. So, but we're in Genesis 19 now. And Genesis 19 deals with Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm sure most of you Christians out there, if not all, know the story of Sodom and Gomorrah and what happened to it. So we're going to kind of, it starts, so on my notes, I have it starting at verse 5. And I want to back up a little bit because I don't always like to just jump right in. I think I've told you, I like to give you the full story. So what happened was there was some angels that God had sent down to Sodom and Gomorrah. And when they entered the city, Abraham's brother, Lot, was living there. He saw them. He knew they were angels and went out and told them, hey, look, you guys aren't safe here. This is a rough part of town. They do things to people like you, and you come to my house. Let me protect you. So they went to his house. Once they did, Lot's house, people had already seen him walking through the streets, and when you got pretty boys walking through the streets of a place like that, you got to stop and remember now, Sodom and Gomorrah was like Sin City. I mean, and I'm not talking Vegas. I mean, it was where everyone went for, prostitutes and male and female, and it was just debauchery, which is why these guys went there. So we're going to pick up where they're in Lot's house and what goes on there. So in verse 5, it says they called the guys outside, all the men and everything. They called to Lot, where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out so that we can have sex with them. So that should tell you right there what kind of place this is. And Lot went outside to meet them and shut the door behind him and said, no, my friends, do not do this wicked thing. Look, I have 2 daughters who have never slept with a man. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do what you want with them. But don't do anything to these men, for they have come under the protection of my roof. So Lot right there knows, hey, I got to protect these angels. He's willing to give up his his daughters to these. Well, I know it's a rough one. I like I said, you don't agree with everything that happens in these things, but this is God's angels that he's protecting. So the guys outside, they're like, "Get out of our way," they replied. "This fellow came here as a foreigner, and now he wants to play the judge," because Lot is not from Sodom and Gomorrah. He moved there. So these are people who, these are the indigenous people of Sodom and Gomorrah. "We'll treat you worse than them." They kept bringing pressure on Lot and moved forward to break down the door. But the men inside reached out and pulled Lot back into the house and shut the door. Then they struck the men who were at the door of the house, young and old, with blindness, as they could not find the door. So right there it goes to show, the angels are not going to let anything bad happen. But Lot was so devoted to God. And so God protected him and his daughters. That's why I know it makes people cringe when bad things look like they're going to happen, but God shows up. So then the two men said to Lot, "Do you have anyone else here, sons-in-law, sons or daughters, or anyone else in the city who belongs to you? Get them out of here, because we are going to destroy this place. The outcry to the Lord against its people is so great that he has sent us to destroy it." So the sin and the debauchery and the evil in these cities was so great that the only way God knew to cleanse it was to destroy it. So where am I stopping at? I got it to 13. So yeah, that's where it ends. But the rest of the story goes on, Lot gathered up his people and took them out, and they destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. We all know that. But so I included that because it shows what kind of, sexual sins and debauchery and how far Lot was willing to go, to protect these angels of God. That's kind of why I put that in there,
He was willing to give up his daughters for God.
For God, yes. And, when you look at Sodom and Gomorrah, these guys, it was nothing but prostitutes and, these guys wanted to have sex with angels, and that's a wicked thing, it says right there.
Well, it's wicked for the angels to do so as well.
Well, it's just wicked, period, the whole thing. So that was that one. So I included that one. So now we are going to move on to Genesis 19. So it's the same chapter. We're going to jump down to verse 31. Now, this one deals with Lot and his daughters now. And I'm just going to read it, and you'll understand why I included this one. So Lot and his two daughters left Zoar, where they had settled, and they settled in the mountains, for he was afraid to stay in Zoar. He and his two daughters lived in a cave. One day the older daughter said to the younger, "Our father is old, and there is no man around here to give us children, as is the custom all over the earth," which that's what you did. You got married and had kids. Yeah, you procreate. Let's get our father to drink wine and then sleep with him and preserve our family line through our father. So now we're talking incest. That's a no bueno. So that night they got their father to drink wine, and the older daughter went in and slept with him. He was not aware of it when she lay down or when she got up. The next day, the older daughter said to the younger, "Last night I slept with my father. Let's get him to drink wine again tonight, and you go in and sleep with him so we can preserve our family line through our father." So they got their father to drink wine that night also, and the younger daughter went in and slept with him. Again, he was not aware of it when she laid down or when she got up. So both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their father. The older daughter had a son, and she named him Moab. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter what they. So, yeah, there's incest going on. So, notice I could not find anywhere in there yet. Don't take this out of context. It does not say that it was wrong or that they sinned in that. Right?
Nope, it doesn't.
Yet.
Stay
tuned. It's coming. But at that time, apparently, like I said, a lot of everything we're reading right now, the law has not been given.
Right.
So there was just a lot of everything going on, and this is what came of it all. So just so you know, the law had not been given yet. Keep that in mind as we go through this.
Mm-hmm.
So now we jump to Genesis 20, very next book. And we start with, this is going to talk about Abraham. So this I found kind of weird. And this is why I included it, because it's I don't understand the reasoning behind it. But Abraham and, well, here, I'm going to start at the beginning. Now, Abraham moved on from there, which is, I forget where he was, but into the region of the Negev and lived between Kadesh and Shur. For a while, he stayed in Gerar. And there Abraham said of his wife Sarah, "She is my sister." Why he wanted to do this, I don't know. But he was always, it's not the first time. He did this a couple times. He's had Sarah say that she was his sister. But anyway, so then Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent for Sarah and took her. So because he said that she was his sister, now the king is sleeping with her. Not a wise move on Abraham's part, right?
No, because you just gave your wife to another man.
Yep. All because he was afraid for himself, really. He thought they were going to kill him and take her anyway. So apparently, I'm going to save my life. I'm going to give you up.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Nice husband.
Right? But God came to Abimelech in a dream one night and said to him, "You are as good as dead because of the woman you have taken. She is a married woman." So right there we know that sleeping with a married woman
Is a no-no.
is a no-no. Even though the law has not been given yet, we know that you shouldn't do it, tells us. Now, Abimelech had not gone near her, so he said, "Lord, will you destroy an innocent nation? Did he not say to me, 'She is my sister'? And didn't she also say, 'He is my brother'? I have done this with a clear conscience and clean hands." So he was ignorant of it, which, how can you be blamed for something that you didn't know? Once you know, then what do you do?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you
Change the behavior.
change the behavior, right? So God said to him in the dream, "Yes, I know you did this with a clear conscience, and so I have kept you from sinning against me. That is why I did not let you touch her. Now return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you will live. But if you do not return her, you may be sure that you and all who belong to you will die."
So that's a little confusing, because he's saying he didn't let him touch her,
Right.
but yet earlier, you've taken her. So does this mean that he took her,
He took
but
her
he
and
didn't
married
have,
her.
but he didn't have sex with her?
That's the way I read it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he didn't commit adultery.
Correct. But he married a married woman.
Ouch.
And God stopped him from committing adultery
Okay.
because he was ignorant of it.
Okay.
So I thought that was Pretty good thing on God's part.
Yeah.
So then, early the next morning, Abimelech summoned all his officials, and when he told them all that had happened, they were very much afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham in and said, "What have you done to us? How have I wronged you that you have brought such guilt upon me and my kingdom? You have done things to me that should never be done." And Abimelech asked Abraham, "What was your reason for doing this?" And here's where you find it out. Abraham replied, "I said to myself,"
Self?
anytime you talk to yourself, you're probably going to steer yourself wrong. Right?
Probably.
Probably. Self-help is not really help. "I said to myself, there is surely no fear of God in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife. Besides, she really is my sister, the daughter of my father through not of my mother, and she became my wife." So, half-sister. Same dad, different moms, right?
That's still incest.
I not yet. The law has not been given. All this stuff is why God gave us the law,
Okay.
because we could not handle it ourselves.
Clearly.
So,
can't.
still can't. "And when God had made me wander from my father's household, I said to her, 'This is how you can show your love to me.'" And that is always the wrong thing to say to somebody. "Well, if you love me, you would."
Yeah.
Never say that, ever. You know, that just,
That's mean.
well, it's not, it puts people in such a bad position.
It's manipulative.
It's manipulative, and if you love me, you would XYZ. Well,
If you loved me, you wouldn't put me in that position.
Exactly. Thank you. I was waiting for that. So never say that to someone. "This is how you can show me you love me," or "if you love me, you would." No, don't.
Don't
Ever.
do it.
"So this is how you can show me you love me. Everywhere we go, say of me, he is my brother." Wow, that went fast. I couldn't keep up.
You're right here.
Where am I at? Okay. She scrolled the screen on me, and my old eyes are slow. "Then Abimelech brought sheep and cattle and male and female slaves and gave them to Abraham, and he returned Sarah his wife to him. And Abimelech said, 'My land is before you. You live wherever you like.' To Sarah he said, 'I am giving your brother 1,000 shekels of silver. This is to cover the offense against you before all who are with you. You are completely vindicated.'" So I thought
Awful
that was
nice of him to do that.
well. That's what I'm saying. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
He knew that her husband wronged her, and I mean, really embarrassed her and disgraced her in front of everyone. So he made it right by her and God.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. So as we can see, things are starting to heat up, and you can see God is starting to get mad at some of the things that we're doing because they're not good for us as humans, and they cause strife, they cause dissension. You can see what happens. So I want to kind of show you how things progress to why God gives us the law, So I think that's good for now. I think we'll pick it up next time, and we'll continue on this journey. If you like it, let us know. You can email us at the Kinky Christian Podcast at Gmail. You can hit us up in the comments below. Like, subscribe, ring the little bell, ding-a-ling-a-ling.
Facebook?
We do have a Facebook page. I'm trying to be more active on there. If you are on Facebook and you check us out at the Kinky Christian Podcast, we're starting to post books that have helped us on our journey in BDSM and kink and power exchange. So we're starting to post them on there if you want to check out these books too. And if you want, we can even give you reviews of those like we did with Cotton Candy. But yeah, check us out on Facebook. Really?
Multitasking.
Is that what that is?
Yes,
Okay.
Master. You
Okay.
know that's what I do.
Okay. So anyway, let us know what you think of this series. You know, like I said, we're trying to not just slam you with the Bible and what God says, but we also are the Kinky Christian podcast. So we want to share Christianity in the sex aspect of it because we feel like it gets ignored a lot.
Yeah.
You know, especially in churches and religion, and we tend to gloss over what the Bible and God really says about sex.
Plus, we get to talk about what's in there and how we interpret it, and we get feedback on,
Yeah.
well, maybe that's not exactly how that is supposed to go. So that's been nice interacting.
It is.
in
It's
that
great
way.
interacting with a lot of the people that I've interacted with, and just other. And you got to remember, God uses the Bible to build a foundation with us, and He wants to. You know, each relationship is different. You know, if you have multiple children, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
If you have multiple siblings, you know that. Even with your parents, your relationship with your dad is different than with your mom, and that doesn't mean they're not all God honoring. It just means that they're different. And so we can have different relationships and different views and different things on the Bible, as long as you understand that when God says no, He means no. When He says yes, He means yes. The rest of it is open for you to go as you want.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let us know what you think, and until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and God bless.